what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Big Things Kentucky. We on the coronavirus opening up episode, Coach. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? I'm Coach Bew, my main man, Coach T behind the camera. Coach Truck, what's good, brother?
Man, we getting ready to open this thing up, man. You know, a lot of people got a lot of different opinions on it. You know, some people say it's too early, some people say it's too late. But one thing's for sure, we getting ready to roll into this thing.
We got a chance to sit down with 4 local coaches in the area. Coach Nigel Smith for Lexington Catholic.
Yes, sir.
Coach Hawkins, new coach of Bryan Station. Coach Demetrius Gay, new head coach of Henry Clay. And our guy, Coach Wes Johnson. And Coach, one thing they had in common is the uncertainty of what the season's going to hold.
Yes, absolutely, man. Well, first of all, we popped in with Lexington Catholic since they started on the 15th. So we went out there to see exactly how the process was going to be.
So what we have are got 5 areas on the field, and we went ahead and just maxed it at 9. So we have 5 groups of 9 that could work out at a time, and then after this session is finished, we'll have another session that will start to arrive right about 10:30, and they will get organized that way. So that fits into all the regulations. We have them arrive staggered time, so this half will arrive 10 minutes, then the next half so that we don't have to congregate out front. And then just like you guys did, everybody gets a temperature check, wash their hands as soon as they get here, and then they can enter out on the field.
Now, how do you think the challenge is going to be like when you get into contact and practice? You know what I'm saying?
We don't have any idea yet on what the regulations are going to be for that. One of the things that we think is going to help us is that in order to do this and do it right, takes a whole lot of self-discipline, takes a whole lot of leadership. Kids got to, recognize, pay attention, understand what they're supposed to do, and then be, motivated to actually do the right thing. So once we get going, all this stuff right here is just going to help us.
All your practice is beginning is individual stuff anyway. So you do small groups anyway, so it won't be too much of a.
So with football, you're in your individual groups. That's how most players, most teams are going to start off a practice anyway. You're going to be split into your individual groups, and then you kind of come together. We're not coming together right now. We're still just going to be working. So everybody that's out here, they work in that group, and they stay in that group the whole time. But, like I said, in a normal practice setting, you're going to start small, work out individual groups, and then come together. So it's not that much different for us. When we work out in the summer anyway, we're generally in groups. We're maybe not as normally spread apart, but we're normally in groups like this, doing each group's doing a little bit different things. So this isn't really that different as of right now, just kind of the other extra stuff on top of it.
So my question also now, how was it going through the off season and getting back to this, not having that time with one another? I know parts of Zoom meetings and stuff. In spring, you got a new quarterback. You come in, you working in. I mean, a lot of moving parts. How's that been for you? That's difficult as it been for you.
It's different, but you know what? We're on the same plane as everybody else. Nobody else got to do spring ball. Nobody else got to do anything that we didn't get to do. So we did our Zoom meetings, looking at our offense and our defense. But we're just gotta wait and see and be patient about how things are going to work. We've got some good leaders. We've got a group of seniors that when they were freshmen won the freshman championship in the conference. So we know we got good leadership in that class. And so whenever we get to do stuff, we're going to count on those guys to really start carrying us forward.
JD Woodall, be a senior this season. Play defensive back, wide receiver, special teams, about everywhere. Really just glad to be back out here. It's definitely a lot better than being at home, even though everything's a lot different. So yeah, even though we're kind of spread out, it's still a lot of fun.
All right. So how is this just the whole process of actually getting ready to practice? What's that like, man?
We're starting a little later than normal, so just going to sleep longer. But you come in here, get your temperature taken. Everyone's spread out, has a mask on, and then everyone goes in their different groups, and then we can visually take our mask off and start doing what we do. But it's just a lot of procedures before we can start. Obviously, we lost Bo Allen, so that was a big part of our team last year. But we got some good QBs coming up behind Bo. We're gonna battle for the spot. So it's gonna be a good season even without Bo. We're still gonna have a really good team. So I'm looking forward to it.
I'm gonna ask you a question. That Coach Knight was here. You go tell us. He won't be mad. Did you do the online workouts that he sent you? Did you get to him?
I looked at him. I'm not gonna lie. I was definitely doing stuff. If it wasn't this most specific stuff he sent us, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Coach, man, it was a great interview with Coach Nigel Smith, man. Also a former defender, so it's good to sit down with him and talk about Catholic. Class act coach is as well.
Yes, sir.
It's funny how everything's going, how he's had to break it down, how to get the separate groups of 9, everybody stays together. So, man, it's a lot going on over there.
Yeah, it is a lot of moving pieces and keeping this thing together. Now, unfortunately for the city schools, they'll start a couple weeks later. So we got the chance to sit down with them coaches to talk about how they're going. Just to kind of, get you guys' thoughts and see how y'all dealing with all of this.
They've been creative. I will give my staff credit. They've been creative. Yeah.
What I think it does, I think it opens up a little bit of new, kind of a new thinking about what we can do with our kids.
I agree.
Not only off season, but even in season, using technology to our advantage. And
I think you guys are about a week out before you can actually start doing stuff because of the Lexington 2 weeks out. I'm sorry, because of Fayette County. They set their rules for when you guys can start. So one, did you guys have input into that as far as when you wanted to start?
No. No say in the matter.
That was all I guess Robbie said they all had to talk, and then they had to, talk with the health department and everything. Okay. Yeah, us coaches had no input. I didn't get a phone call.
No.
Or an email.
Okay. So now I guess the next question is, are you guys ready?
What's that?
Are you guys ready for this?
Hit on what we're doing, I guess. Obviously the biggest part of it is just organizing your groups of 10 and making sure those guys are in the same group the entire, 2 weeks until July 15th. And, communicate that stuff and kind of organize them as they come in the parking lot and whether they have their mask on and, get them with their coach. And, luckily they just said, with coaches, they don't have to keep the same coach the entire time. And that was going to be a huge help because, I was getting nervous a little bit because, every day for 2 weeks, I deal with a lot of paraprofessionals and, sometimes they have something come up at work or something happens and another coach has to step in. And if that coach was going to have to be locked on with that group, it's going to be kind of a problem. But luckily they took that away so we can do a little bit more, coach interaction, which will be helpful.
First of all, it's good to see all you gentlemen. Coach Hawk, I need one of them hats. Please send it to me.
Okay.
Defender, man, my question is Coach Johnson, the Coach Gay and Coach Hawk, with Coach Hay, both you all are first-year coaches. How hard has it been for you all dealing with this?
It's tough. I've been around for a long time, so I know all the kids basically, but it's been hard. I guess, with what we're doing is, meeting on Zoom and getting all the kids to, meet on Zoom has been hard. And because we are putting in a new, offense. And so it's been tough. And it's going to be tough being that we can't do anything with a football for a long time. You can't implement your offense or your defense while you're out there. Some coaches might be.
Now, I got a question for you, Coach Gay. You say, you're implementing a new offense and, installing that. I know you kind of give it to them in Zoom meetings and stuff. Do you try and test them on it?
Been in the school system for a long time. Everybody's a different learner. So what we've done is we've actually pulled up old film and we've kind of looked at what we implemented and seeing, what we did last year that kind of was similar to what we implemented. So we've kind of said, well, look at this. If we done this, then this could have happened. Well, this is the new, this is what we're going to call it. So this is what it's going to look like. So, it's been an adjustment, it's
now,
like
Coach Hawkins, it's the same with you. If you found any, obstacles, there's something, barriers as far as you implementing, because you're putting in a whole new everything, right?
Yeah, it's been a challenge, but we spent quite a bit of time before COVID, trying to implement some expectations and those kind of things that I think will put us years ahead anyway, because, the expectations I've set are pretty high for these kids, and at least we were able to line that up. So when this came about and we needed those kids to attend Zoom meetings and then, meet with me, meet with their position coaches, that expectation level was already in their heads. We've had pretty good success communicating information, but like Coach Gay said, I'm installing a whole program right now. So, we've been fortunate because I was able to take the offense. It's been easier to work with the kids on the offense because we can, one, communicate with them through Zoom and also let them see somewhat what it looks like from huddle from Apollo. So obviously I carried some of that film with me and have been able to show the run game in particular has been, easier for these kids to look at. But, you got to work with what you got. I mean, I know it's going to be short turnaround with these kids. And, I'm hoping that enough buy-in that we can put 11 on the field that know what to do. And I suspect that will be close. I suspect it'll be close. It's a good group of kids.
Now, with Coach Hawkins, I know you're running to this where it's easy to show it on film, and to actually, this is where we're going to fall behind. Right. Getting out on the field and showing them is going to be a totally different thing, but us not being able to be in, big groups, it's going to be tough.
Well, I know my the skill coaches have done a really, really good job of breaking this stuff down for their position groups. And they've spent quite a bit of time, with those receivers, just, laying out route trees, laying out, things that they can understand. And the quarterback coach has been able to draw out coverages and those kind of things. So, I mean, we've got as much into the kids as we can, but you're right. When you get them on the field, how much did they retain and those kind of things. But that's a struggle every year, potentially anyway. So, it's just, like I said, it is what it is. And I know Coach Johnson there, well, this will be your second year at Dunbar.
Third year.
Third year. I mean, you know what we're going through, and you still got to reteach and do some things even after 3 years. And I've had to do that down the line. I don't think you ever have the group that just knows everything when they walk out there anyway. So, we're behind, I'm sure, because we're new coaches through the program.
But the hardest is going to be for the O-line. It's.
I was finna ask, what do you guys think is going to be the biggest thing, I guess, adjustment or the hardest thing to actually get going when you get ready to actually start playing?
The skill is easy because you can say, here, run a post, and you run a post. That's easy. But the line, I mean, you're seeing different fronts and different stunts, and, it's going to be hard for the old line. I mean, you can talk to them till you're blue in the face, but, once the bullets start flying, man, it's hard for them up front. And with us having a new, offensive line coach, they've got to learn his terminology and, the way he operates, so it's going to be tough. I mean, Coach Hawkins might be running to the same, same situation.
Well, I don't want to admit this, but I will. I mean, I've learned over the last few years that the best way to get going is make the offensive line the easiest part of it, so we scheme to where it's, doesn't take a lot to block down, kick out or whatever, so.
Yeah,
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, I don't mind saying we pull guards. So we got some guards that got to learn how to pull, and the rest need to learn how to block back on somebody. So, I've simplified that for that very reason. It's getting kids to understand concepts defensively and some of the passing concepts that I think we'll struggle with. because my expectations is 7 back to 5 is 7 back to 5, and I, how kids are now. It's 8 back to 6, or so that may be tougher for me. But no, you're right. The line is a challenge, unless you just got 5 studs that are 4-year starters, which I don't know that any of us have that.
No.
Well, my next question is to you, all three of you gentlemen. Coach Johnson, you can start off first. Is you missed spring football you all did. You missed most of the summer. Do you feel like you're gonna miss out on the kid that normally would be like hitting the kid that would normally step out that you ain't gonna get a chance to? Are you gonna have to limit your rotation? Are you gonna have to go just 2 deep where you normally maybe go 3 deep? Do you feel like you're gonna miss out on something with all this short time and trying to get a lot of stuff in? And like Coach Meach said, you're not gonna have a lot of time going physical. So do you feel like you're gonna miss out on something?
I'm in a little different situation than I've been in the last couple of years. If this happened to me last year, I'd be in a little bit more trouble than this year. Last year I was replacing 9 of 11 starters on defense and 9 of 11 starters on offense. This year I got 9 of 11 back on offense. I got 9 of 11 back on defense. I've got 20 seniors that played significant amount for me the last 3 years. They played as sophomores, so they've been playing for 2 years. They've been in the system 2 years. Would I love to have had spring? Obviously, yeah, that's great. I missed 10 days of practice. Normally, when I was 27 years old in my first head coaching job at Wes Johnson, I'd go all June and, I'd have something every day. And, now I'm old, and I don't do that stuff anymore. I usually I give them June off anyway. I'll see you July 15th when this thing kicks back up, and, we'll go from there. So in terms of like a lot of stuff, I don't feel like I've missed a ton. Now I'd have felt a little bit more anxious if I had my last year's group, kind of like, what those guys are dealing with right now, not knowing exactly what all the pieces and how they're all going to fit and what they're going to do. So, there is a little bit of a different angle that I get to come at it this year with. My concern is getting them into a physical shape enough. Right now you're seeing a lot of injuries in the NFL. These guys are hopping back into it because they haven't been with their trainers. They're doing stuff they haven't trained to do. They've been in facilities kind of doing what they want to do, and they come back and they're not physically ready. And so that's my concern, is just getting us physically ready in an amount of time where we can go out there and not get a bunch of injuries, because we do have some depth this year, but like everybody else, if we lose 3 or 4 key guys, we're gonna hurt. We're gonna have really, really young guys in there. We don't have the depth some of these schools around here have. We just can't plug and play.
Like Coach Gay and Coach Hawkins when he was starting, and Coach Johnson when you were starting, was how important getting a real weight program going. And I know not having this spring and the summer really set that back. So how is there any way you can make that up or anything, or you just
see what we did it, for the first time since I've been here in Clay, we did hire a strength and conditioning coach. So, and from the time I was hired, he got him in, and we was getting stronger, we was getting flexible, we was doing all that good stuff, and then COVID hit. So all that those guys had gained, now they've lost. So now you got to rebuild, and the thing about it, which is crazy, is we really can't get in our weight room, when we come back, because you still got to have social distancing,
Now,
Coach
do
Johnson,
you trust them to actually be lifting at home? Do any of you coaches trust your players that they're actually lifting at home and doing what you want them to do?
This is what we send a workout, and it's without any weight. So we send a workout every week for them to do. Are they doing it? We'll find out when we come back.
It'll show.
And I expressed that because I just had my parent meeting, and I expressed that to them, and I expressed it to my kids. It will show if you haven't been working out. And I told them it's not my fault. They've been giving the workouts. They've been doing all this stuff. They've been getting it. So if it's not my fault if they're behind, But, as far as strength, we're just going to be, those guys that don't have weights, it is what it is, And like I told them, key thing is that everybody's in the same
Yeah,
situation.
what you miss, and I know coaches will understand this, is that what you miss is you may give a kid a workout and they may do it, but they're going to stop when they get tired, you know, and they're not going to push it, you know, when in the weight room, when we have, you know, 80 guys in there lifting and screaming and yelling, and, you know, they're going to give it that extra, and they're not going to act like they're tired. You know, it's a little too easy to toss in the cards when, you know, you're getting a little lactic acid built up, and it kind of hurts a little bit. And, you know, so that's kind of the, you know, the thing that they're not getting, regardless of whether whatever they're doing, they're not getting that. So, you know, that's the thing.
Heck, we really don't know when the season's going to start.
That's true
crazy
too.
thing. Because we can all get started and then these numbers spike up and then, you know, we get shut down again.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a chance that, you know, we might not get started really to September.
Yeah.
So, you know, we don't know. We just don't know. And, you know, you look at the schedule and expect, I don't know, you know, the other coaches, but my schedule is pretty tough. We always play a tough schedule, and not being able to prepare for them teams like we really want to is going to be tough. So, you know, I know with us, I'm not, you know, dealing with nobody else. The only way we can go is up from where we were last year.
I think one of the things that I do is, and I think this is probably something that, you know, we have 80 kids on the team and everybody's going to be out there. But what we do is we stagger the time. So we stagger every 15 minutes. So you can't come in. Group A comes in at, you know, at 7 o'clock. Group B comes in at 7:15. Group C comes in at 7:30. Well, it's only a 45-minute workout. So when Group A leaves, as Group D is coming in, we're rotating that group in. So we'll always have 50, you know, and we'll end with 10. So, you know, that's the way we're doing it, just to rotate them in for a couple of hours. We're going to keep it real short these first 2 weeks. You know, we're going to limit it to about a 45-minute to 50-minute workout just to, you know, just to get them going. You know, like Coach said, dealing with a lot of flexibility. A lot of cone drills, a lot of just getting back in shape, getting just to sweat again, you know, for a couple of weeks before we do this. But so we're staggering those times, so we'll be able to get every player in and through, and always keep under the guideline of the 50.
All right. We're doing something similar. We're doing it in 2 sessions, and so there'll be 4 active groups. That way we can get 40 kids per session. You know, that allows us to get 80 kids through there in a 2-session period. So you'll be session A with group 1, 2, 3, 4, and then session B with group 1, 2, 3, 4, and rotate them through. And like he said, keep it, you know, short and sweet, 45, 50 minutes. And then, you know, a 15-minute gap between the sessions, and, you know, allow us to clean up and do the things the state expects us to do. And, you know, I've been thinking about, I've got some colleagues, obviously, that already started. You know, they started on Monday. Mm-hmm. And in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, they got a 2-week head start. That's what I'm thinking. But then I'm like Coach Johnson, I'm used to giving them June off and letting them be kids anyway. So, you know, I'm not struggling with this as bad. I wish I would have had spring football. Mm. But, you know, I'm used to giving them, letting them be a kid, see you July 10th or 12th or 15th, whatever that date is. And I'm going to test you when you get back. So, you know, you better get yourself and keep yourself in shape. So, you know, this is bad. This is my first year at Bryan Station, but it's not too far removed from what I'm accustomed to anyway. You know, June, we're not touching footballs, you know, and we've got them almost year round now. And we push kids to track. We've got them in wrestling. We've got them in basketball. So, you know, I just, ever since June basketball took over June, I just let them take over June. So I'm glad I'm getting them back. I don't know how much I can do in a couple weeks, but I can probably work on some organizational things and some processes and those kind of things. And I think it'll benefit us just as much, just a little bit different. Then we're going to have to practice them in shape. I mean, that's what we're going to have to do.
Yeah. I just hope, you know, when we get started back that, you know, coaches, we don't push them too hard at first, you know, because if you push them too hard at first, and you know, then that's when the injury bug hits. So you got to work them through. You got to work them into it. You know, that's the way I do my track program. We're not full blow. We work it. We do percentage workouts until it's time to warms up and things. But if we push them too hard early, you know, we could lose some kids, you know, and we don't want that. So it's kind of like we got to crawl, you know, before we walk.
Definitely love the energy all three of you coaches have. Definitely looking forward to it, man. You know, Coach Gay, man, I know you've been in the program forever. Look and see what you do, what new twists you put on Henry Clay. Coach Johnson, you know, I'm a big fan of yours always, man. You know you done, Bob. Coach Hawk, I need one of them hats, man. I'm cheering for you.
I'll get you together.
You know, I do want to say one thing, which is really a good thing. I feel like our coaches in our district really get along really well. I think we all have the same concerns on city football and other things, you know, and we're very much on the same page. And, you know, I think we help each other out. And, you know, I really do enjoy the fraternity of coaches here in Fayette County. You know, these district guys, I mean, you know, and I know Coach Hawkins not in the district, but, you know, it's just kind of refreshing, you know, to have everybody on the same page trying to do well for the kids and trying to do their best in their programs. And, you know, nothing would excite me more for Lexington football to regain a little bit of swagger about it.
I was getting ready to say, you know, one thing I will say is every single coach in the city reached out to me when I got hired. And that says a lot.
Well, I just want to say, coaches, I wish y'all the best of luck. I got y'all back. I'm supporting y'all. We win and we ride. Let's go and have a great season, coaches.
Before we get off here, hold on, Coach. Who you riding with this year? So we
Coach, I got all my coaches, man. I got love for all my coaches. I'm just telling them. I'm wishing them the best of luck, man. I got they back, Coach. I got they back.
He's a chalk picker.
Hey, it's ridiculous how he is.
Yeah.
Because that was a great interview with those three coaches. You know, Zoom's first time we used this. Yeah. It was new to us. Our guy Quentin Walker does a lot, so it's good to do that. Get to talk to the coaches, see them in their element. So it's definitely good to catch up with all those coaches.
Yes, sir. Now, the one thing is, like you say, all the coaches basically can agree on the uncertainty. You know, we've even heard to the point where we don't even know if we'll have a season. What happens if there's an outbreak during the season? Will they shut it down? The 7-on-7 has been proposed. Man, it's interesting time as far as high school sports go. And, man, we just going to follow this and let y'all know exactly what's going on.
Well, another thing, too, to also touch on, they don't even know when they be able to touch a football because the spirit affected one another. So every time you go to practice, everybody's doing a temperature check to make sure you haven't been sick in the last 24 hours. So it's a lot of moving parts to this, like I said earlier. So, and I know and like I said, both Coach Gay and Coach Hawk spoke, being new coaches, that it's tough. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes, Coach.
Yes, sir. Man, we also want to give a shout out, or I don't know, congratulations or whatever, but Coach Frank Parks of Bryan Station is now at Madison Central. He'll be the defense coordinator, I understand. Hey, good luck, Coach. And man, I guess he went back home, man.
Went back home, Coach. He does a lot of stuff in Richmond. I think he still lives in Richmond, so it's good to have him back at his roots.
He was an all-star from Richmond. You know, he played there.
He did. So we're going to wish Coach luck, man, and big things on this upcoming season.
Yes, sir.
You know, man, a lot of moving parts to the city again this year, Coach, like a lot of uncertainty, as everybody says. So let's see what the upcoming season has. No matter what, big things will be on the ground, up and running. But we'll be come back to you every week. We should be trying to come back. So look for a new video dropping.
All right. Also, man, we got T-shirts, apparel available. You can hit us up on any of our sites. The regular sizes for $12. Big sizes plus sizes, because we got to, you know, keep up with our big fellas. $15. Hit us up, man, if you want a shirt. We got different colors and sizes and everything. Make sure you subscribe and keep watching, baby, because we coming back brand new and better than ever.
I'm going to stop you right there, Coach. We also got hats as well. We got the dad hats we'll be having. We got the snapbacks as well. I got a flex fitted one, so make sure you hit us up on that as well. And let me tell you right now, if we get 20 comments on this video, we'll pick a name out of that, and we'll send you a free shirt from Big Things Kentucky.
Yes, sir, because as always, we winning, we riding, baby.
Oh, Lord, we looking forward to that. It's going to be a long season. Lord have mercy. Before we close, we want to give our heartfelt prayers and condolences to Manny Emmanuel Pruitt, from Madison Central, Coach. Coach Center's the head coach there. It's tough to leave with all this going on, the pandemic, the social injustice, to see this young man lose his life, just trying to have a little fun, man. So we pray for his family, his loved ones, the community of Madison, Richmond and Madison Central County, and the school over there, Coach, and all those young men and women that knew this man.
Well said, Coach.
Man, as always, there should be a living donor. I'm Coach Bew. My man, Coach T behind the camera, Coach Truck.
Peace.